Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my podcast Heart to Heart. This afternoon, I have invited one of the distinguished professors, an academic, an accomplished researcher here at University of Leicester Business School, Dr. Abdur Jabbar, who is British-born Pakistani and hails from Azad, Kashmir, Pakistan. His father basically migrated here 50 years back, and he was born, raised, and educated here in UK. So studying in UK continues to be one of the hot topics and also one of the key decisions when it comes to career counseling, when it comes to choosing overseas or transnational education. Thousands of Pakistanis every year choose international destinations for their higher education. Why studying in UK is so important? This is a key question that basically is the topic of our today discussion in this Heart to Heart podcast. And on your behalf, I welcome Professor Dr. Abdur Jabbar on this podcast. So welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Asad. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for inviting me. It's a real honor. The podcast is something I've always wanted to do, so thank you so much.
So, for our Pakistani parents and Pakistani students, can you please highlight some of the unique selling points or unique features of studying in UK, sir?
Great question. That's a great question. So, UK higher education is still one of the best education systems in the world. It's still very, very highly ranked. Still provides a lot of value, and the UK higher education still provides students with the critical thinking skills, but also with the applied skills that they need to function in today's modern world. And as the world becomes more and more complex, and as we start to navigate and transcend through some of these more complex matters, UK higher education is still very well placed to support our students and give them the understanding and the skills to really function as a valued member of society. And as many of your viewers are probably already aware, the UK has some of the best universities in the world. It still has some of the best researchers in the world, and it has some of the best courses in the world. We've got such a strong history of education in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, of course, everybody knows Harvard and Purdue in US and Cambridge and Oxford here in UK, always competing for the top world ranking top positions.
It's true, and now we've got London School of Economics also at the top position, so they're also doing very, very well. So the UK as a provider of education is still by far, in my view, I'm not being biased, but one of the best places to study for.
Would you please highlight some of your academic career journey that you had here in UK and your own experience as a student here in UK?
Yes. Good question. I don't really like talking about myself too much, but I was born and bred in a small town in the north of England called Huddersfield. Being a young kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was a difficult time for many Pakistanis. Our fathers came over to work in the textile mills. Some of our fathers set up businesses, and that became the foundation for many students to grow into the professions here. And there was a lot of opportunity back in the late 90s, in the early 2000s. A lot of my friends went on to become dentists, doctors, lawyers, highly respected professionals in their field.
I was wondering if your son had offers from a university in US, a university in Canada, and a couple of offers from 2 to 3 quality universities in UK. Where would you choose your son to be, in US, Canada, or UK?
Great question, Asad, and thank you for that. I think based upon my own experience and my lived experience, for me, I would always advise my son to come to the UK, primarily because there's a really strong educational background, but also the amount of diversity in the UK. There's a lot of opportunity in the UK. We have a strong Muslim population in the UK. There's the chance to discuss and grow and talk to so many different people of faith, and it's a good quality of life in this country. And there's plenty of opportunity to grow as individuals. And if the university came along and my son had the offer, I would always say, come to the UK and study.
And so also does that large number of Pakistani diaspora here, living in UK, does that really help a Pakistani student traveling and coming to an overseas location like UK?
See, I think that's one of the advantages that we have in the UK. We have a large diaspora in the UK, and I think some of our students really embed themselves and engage, and that gives them a support structure away from home in some respects. We've got strong communities in the UK that are there to support some of our international students with work, with support, with whatever help that they need. And the other advantage, obviously, is a lot of our family members are already in the UK, and that makes a big difference as well. So we get a lot of Pakistan, a lot of students from Pakistan, India, and Bangladesh who've already got family communication, and that really helps to lower the cost in some respects, and really helps them to embed and to get used to UK life. Makes a big difference.